Have you ever wondered what a machine dreams about? Not in code, not in ones and zeros, but in stories. What kind of tales would an artificial intelligence weave if it could pull from the vast, chaotic, and beautiful tapestry of human literature, art, and history? Today, we're diving headfirst into the uncanny valley of creativity, exploring the surreal, sometimes hilarious and often profound short stories generated by AI. This isn't just about clever algorithms. It's about witnessing the birth of a new kind of storyteller. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and prepare to question everything you thought you knew about where stories come from. First, let's set the stage. How does an AI even write a story? Imagine a student who has read every book in the world's largest library, seen every movie, and analyzed every painting. It doesn't understand emotion like we do, but it recognizes patterns. It knows that a story about loss often features rain, or that a heroic tale involves overcoming a great obstacle. When we give it a prompt, say, a lonely lighthouse keeper who befriends a cosmic whale, the AI begins to connect these patterns. It pulls from its massive database of knowledge, blending concepts that a human mind might never link together. It's a process of sophisticated, creative collage. The results are often bizarre, but within that strangeness, there's a spark of something truly fascinating. It's not just mimicking, it's reimagining. Our first story comes from a simple prompt. The last librarian on Earth and a secret she's kept for centuries. The AI spun a tale not of dusty tomes, but of a library where the books breathed. Literally. Each book's cover would rise and fall with a gentle rhythm, and the stories within weren't written in ink, but in living constellations of light that danced on the pages. The librarian wasn't guarding paper, she was the caretaker of sleeping universes. The secret was that once a century she had to choose one book to awaken, releasing its reality into our own, while another reality faded back into slumber. The story was filled with hauntingly beautiful imagery, like sentences of starlight and paragraphs of pure gravity. It didn't have a perfect plot, but the atmosphere it created was unforgettable. It felt less like a story and more like a captured dream, a fleeting glimpse into a world governed by completely different rules. What's so striking about this first example is its conceptual leap. A human writer might think of magical books, but books that breathe and contain literal universes. That's a different level of abstraction. The AI, unburdened by our logic and understanding of physics, just connects book with life and universe in the most direct way possible. This is where AI's alien intelligence shines. It's not trying to be human. It's creating based on its own unique data-driven logic, and the result is a kind of surrealist poetry. It forces us to look at a simple concept like a library and see it through a completely new, almost cosmic lens. The story wasn't just about a librarian. It was a meditation on the nature of reality itself, all born from a single-sentence prompt. Now, let's pivot from the poetic to the downright absurd. For our next experiment, we gave the AI a much sillier prompt. A detective who is also a sentient armchair solving the case of the missing TV remote. The result was pure, unadulterated comedy gold. The story was narrated from the armchair's perspective, complaining about the indignity of people sitting on him while he was trying to collect clues. He described suspects based on the imprint they left on his cushions and the stray crumbs they dropped. His main witness was the family dog, whose tail wags were a cryptic code he had to decipher. The villain, it turned out, was the robotic vacuum cleaner, who had a grudge against the remote for always being left on the floor in its path. The vacuum had hidden the remote inside a potted plant. The armchair detective solved the case by feeling, a telltale vibration from the vacuum's motor whenever the plant was mentioned. This armchair detective story is hilarious, but it also reveals something crucial about AI creativity. It excels at personification and world-building from a non-human perspective. It took the physical attributes of an armchair, being sat on, being near the floor, being stationary, and turned them into detective skills. A human writer might struggle to authentically imagine the world from a chair's point of view, but the AI, lacking a human body and perspective by default, has no trouble at all. It simply analyzes the function and context of armchair and logically extends it into the framework of a detective story. It's a masterclass in thinking outside the box because for the AI, there is no box. This isn't just a funny story. It's a demonstration of how AI can generate novel ideas by stripping away our built-in human assumptions. But AI isn't limited to fantasy and comedy. It can also create stories that are deeply and sometimes uncomfortably human. We prompted it with a single, emotionally charged phrase, "The color of forgetting." The AI produced a short, fragmented narrative about an old clockmaker who was losing his memories. But he wasn't just forgetting names or faces. He was forgetting colors. The story described his world slowly turning monochrome, but not into black and white. Instead, things faded into a specific, non-existent shade the AI called Tempest Gray, the color of time itself eating away at the present. He would try to remember the vibrant red of his wife's favorite scarf, only to see a pale, dusty gray. The climax wasn't a grand event, but a quiet moment where he looks at his own hands and realizes he can no longer remember the color of his own skin. He had faded into the background of his own life. The emotional weight of the color of forgetting is staggering. How can a machine, which has never experienced memory, loss, or love, write something that feels so profoundly human? The answer lies, again, in patterns. The AI has analyzed countless stories about aging, memory loss, and grief. It has connected the concepts of fading, color, time, and identity. It doesn't feel the clockmaker's sadness, but it can construct a narrative that is statistically likely to evoke sadness in a human reader. It's like a master musician who knows exactly which chords will make an audience cry, even if the musician feels nothing themselves. This is perhaps the most uncanny aspect of AI storytelling. It holds up a mirror to our own emotions, constructed from the data of our collective experiences. The story is a reflection of us, assembled by a non-human intelligence. So, what does this all mean for the future of creativity? Are human writers obsolete? I don't think so. Not at all. Think of it this way. When the camera was invented, painters didn't become obsolete. They were freed. They no longer had to focus solely on realistic representation. They could explore impressionism, cubism, and abstract art. The camera became a new tool, not a replacement. I believe AI is the same for writers. It's a new tool. It can be a collaborator, an idea generator, a way to break through writer's block. It can show us possibilities we never would have imagined on our own. It can draft a surreal dream sequence for us, or come up with a bizarre character to populate our world. The stories we've looked at today are raw and imperfect. They often lack the subtle nuances of plot and character development that a skilled human author provides, but they are brimming with a kind of raw, untamed imagination. They are the seeds of stories. The real magic will happen when human authors and AI collaborators work together. When we take these strange, beautiful, and hilarious machine dreams and, with our own empathy, experience, and craft, shape them into the next generation of masterpieces. The future of storytelling isn't human versus machine. It's human with machine. A partnership that could unlock creative worlds we haven't even begun to imagine. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the mind of the machine. What kind of story would you ask an AI to write? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to read your ideas. And if you enjoyed this exploration of creativity and technology, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content. It really helps the channel grow. Until next time, keep dreaming.